Live from the Grenadian capital, this is the GBN television news. GBN, covering you from the Grenadine Island chain to Brooklyn, New York, via the World Wide Web on www.gbn.gd.
The news headlines is brought to you compliments GUT Credit Union.
In an effort to serve you better, GUT Credit Union has moved its Grandans branch from the Lamaki complex to the Excel Plaza. This new location provides more convenient parking with access from two entrances. The first is from the lower parking area and the second is at the top parking area on the same level as our office for easy walk-in access. Visit GUT Credit Union at our new location and experience the comfortable atmosphere with the enhanced member experience you have come to expect of us. Our Grandans office is open 8:30 a.m. to 4:30 p.m. Monday to Friday. We hope to see you soon. GUT Credit Union. It's where you belong.
Good evening and welcome to the GBN television news for Tuesday, February 15th, 2022. In the headlines, Ministry of Health makes significant changes to Grenada's entry protocols and COVID-19 regulations as officials adapt to living with COVID-19. Family of the man accused as the killer of Grenada's first homicide for 2022 says they have more questions than answers. NDC to reveal 7 of its caretakers as election fever heats up. Coming up in regional developments, 5.4 earthquake rocks several Caribbean islands on Tuesday. Internationally, Ottawa police chief in Canada resigns amid criticism over trucker protests. And coming up in sports tonight, Spice Girls in CONCACAF action tomorrow, while West Indies are hoping to redeem themselves in T20 clash with India. The details of these and other stories are straight ahead. Stay with us.
The first segment of the news comes to you compliments Soft Weave Bathroom Tissue.
Have you heard about the new Soft Weave bathroom tissue with total hygiene? As hygiene and safety have taken center stage, our bathroom tissue is now manufactured with 3 different technologies to offer the best protection for you and your family. UVC light technology for a safe and effective disinfection process, eliminating 99.9% of microorganisms. Also, production at high temperatures, killing all types of germs and bacteria. And it's pH controlled with delicate fibers to prevent irritation for even sensitive skin. Soft Weave Total Hygiene Bathroom Tissue, available in supermarkets and shops island-wide. Visit Soft Weave Caribbean Facebook or Instagram pages for more information.
Thank you for joining us. I am Blossom Alexis Welsh with the details. As local COVID-19 restrictions are being further eased, the question as to whether there is a need for a state of emergency to be in place for Grenada is left to be answered. The COVID-19 pandemic, according to health officials, has transitioned from a pandemic to an endemic, meaning it is here to stay, and therefore adjustments need to be made accordingly. Gerard Joseph starts tonight's newscast.
So the question is there a need for the state of emergency, because there seems to be no longer an emergency?
Health Minister Nicholas Steele, when quizzed on whether the country's state of emergency will be lifted before the latest extension approved by Parliament expires in May 2022, says the possibility exists and within the next week a discussion will be held and a decision would be made. Grenada declared a state of emergency in March 2020 as part of measures aimed at containing and controlling the spread of COVID-19. In April 2020, the Parliament approved a 6-month extension, which ended in October 2020. However, due to a small outbreak in December 2020, another state of emergency was declared, and since then it has been extended every 6 months.
As you have recognized, if there are all of these easements, etc., and so, then quite likely there isn't. So I look forward to the committee first discussing and deliberating that this week between now and Saturday, and then by the next sitting of cabinet also it being discussed. It's going to be a collective decision.
Minister Steele was probed on the issue following announcements by Acting Chief Medical Officer Dr. Tahicia Donald about easing some restrictions with immediate effect. Of note was the appointment of a subcommittee to come up with recommendations ultimately for cabinet in relation to gatherings such as sporting events and carnival.
End of this week, we will have recommendations with relation to the gatherings, how many persons would be allowed, what type of gatherings would be allowed, the capacity and things related to that. Would it be vaccinated events? Would it be unvaccinated events? So these questions would be answered before the end of this week.
Dr. Donald says antigen testing within 72 hours of arrival to Grenada will now be accepted at the country's ports of entry.
I know this is a very good change for a lot of persons in the diaspora because PCR testing is very difficult to access and it has been a problem. A lot of flights have been cancelled as a result of inability to get results on time.
She adds that due to the community spread island-wide, they are removing contact tracing measures at establishments.
Basically what we're saying is that when you go to the supermarket, when you go to the restaurant, you no longer have to sign in. However, please note that we continue to do temperature checks and check in for vaccination status.
The Acting Chief Medical Officer says that tourists from the cruise ships will also now enjoy the same privileges as stayover visitors.
So for all tourists, whether you enter by sea or whether you enter by air, you are free to walk around and experience our attraction sites, our restaurants, and life in Grenada in general.
According to the Ministry of Health's latest COVID dashboard, 107 new cases were recorded on Monday from 608 tests conducted. There are now 368 total active cases at a positivity rate of 17.6%. One death COVID-related was recorded on Monday, bringing the total to 214, while the fully vaccinated population stands at 33%, or 37,269, partially at 5,539, and boosters have been administered to 5,238 people. I am Gerard Joseph for GBN News.
It was pandemonium at the Grenville Magistrates Court on Tuesday morning as Kelly Daniel made his first court appearance after being accused of allegedly brutally murdering John Merchant over the weekend. But it was not the family of the deceased who were loudly expressing their grief outside the courtroom, but the family of the alleged killer. And they say they have questions. Here's Gerard Joseph once again.
I know in the hood, I'm find out about that child and see if he's a bad person.
Something is not adding up, says aunt of the alleged killer, in the first homicide for this year.
The man do everything for Kelly. I don't know what has overcome him for he to do that. But I know he and everybody else in the hood as a good person. He helped out anybody could help out.
According to reports, John Merchant was brutally murdered and dismembered on Saturday, and parts of his body placed in buckets, which were later found floating in the nearby Dunfermline River. The accused, Kelly Daniel, who was charged with non-capital murder for causing the unlawful and intentional death of Mr. Merchant, made his first court appearance on Tuesday and was remanded to a magistrate's prison, Richmond Hill. Daniel had no legal representation and only one of the 4 witnesses was present, while the case was adjourned to March 7th. The alleged killer's family was clearly distraught as they bid farewell to him as he was taken away. His aunt says the news came as a shock for the Daniel family, and now there are more questions than answers.
Calling the man daddy, he calling the woman ma. So I don't know. Something not right. And what I'm saying, the time the woman gave me, because I need you to talk to me, this is my nephew. The time that woman gave me, and within the time that Kelly take, and within the time that SSU give the response, Kelly can't have time pats up the man so quick and go with meat. Because when they reached there was was no. Some of the body was already gone.
Kelly Daniel, who is a resident of Paul St. Andrew, was one of the gardeners on Mr. Merchant's property in Dunfermline. I am Gerard Joseph for GBN News.
In related news, some have focused on how the weekend homicide is impacting the families involved. However, psychologists say it's imperative that focus be placed on the community and how they deal with the trauma. The issue was examined on GBN's Beyond the Headlines program last night. Janelle McDonald reports.
Psychologists have found that beyond its direct impact, homicide has serious negative effects on the lives of those who witnessed or followed reports about the incident. Considering its very small population, Grenada is known for its close-knit communities. Livingston Nelson is recognized as one of the persons who is well connected with what some refer to as the grassroots of society. He traverses the Pearls Main Road daily as he plies his trade as an agribusiness entrepreneur. We ask him how Saturday's homicide is weighing on residents of Pearls and surrounding areas.
It is extremely heavy, and this situation is very, very sad. Not just because a crime was committed, but because the person that got killed is someone known to show a lot of love to the guy that did the crime. It is so unfortunate that you take somebody under your wing, and for some reason that person tripped off, they had a mental breakdown, and then because of your kindness, you allow somebody into your home, someone and to show a lot of your heart, and then eventually they you paid for it with your life, and so that is heavy.
Several studies have been conducted to examine the psychological effects of crime on families, communities, and countries as a whole. A report which has been published by the World Health Organization points to anxiety, depression, post-traumatic stress disorder, aggression, guilt, and a heightened sense of vulnerability. This direct impact is not lost on Livingston Nelson.
And a lot of persons are traumatized in the area because it is extremely frightening to believe that we can do that. And it's like, it's who next? Or who is the other person on the other side that can actually commit that crime? Nobody is walking around with a sticker or a number on the head or on the shoulder. So to see, well, that person might be the next killer. You never know. So anytime it happens, particularly close to you, it goes home, it sinks home, and it affects us quite negatively. Some people might become, mistrustful of opening the doors again to somebody that you might think might just be going through a bad patch in life, that you might be able to help them. But because it happened to Tom Jones on the road, you are scared to do the same. So it was quite unfortunate, and if that's some the police use, they are actually quite unfortunate and a very painful incident, particularly for the people in Pearls.
Nelson says it will take some time, but it is hoped that people could join hearts and hands, embrace each other at this difficult juncture, and help with healing and the restoration of trust. For GBN News, Janelle McDonald.
Meanwhile, two prominent members of the Creative Arts Society believe practitioners have a role to play in shining a light on mental illness. Francis Urias Peters and Krista Riggs are of the view that cultural facets of daily life could help alleviate some of the challenges which have been cropping up in Grenada in recent times. Peters is concerned that mental health is not a front-burner issue.
We have to recognize that mental illness, it is a serious problem here in Grenada. A lot of people are depressed. We are turned our backs on mental illness, just as we have diabetes, hypertension. That is a disease that we have to pay serious attention to. The arts have a very, very important role to play to addressing a lot of these issues. I've done some years ago a play called We Have a Right to talk about the plight of the mentally ill, and it was done through the drama. So I guess the time has come maybe when we have to engage communities, have a sit down with the community centers and with the relevant ministries and relevant personnel to address, at least to start addressing these issues.
Playwright Krista Riggs is also confident that people in the creative industries could play a role.
Dramatists, for theatre practitioners, for artists, not just dramatists, but calypsonians, even people in the visual arts, with respect to addressing these issues. So it is not cosmetic, it is real and reflective of the society in which we live. It's the mirror of the society. And therefore, artists have a part to play in helping to elevate the society, to shine a light and to give hope and make people feel good about themselves and their possibilities, to help people self-actualize, as a psychologist would say. So we have a role to play. And we've been playing it in a very unstructured way in some instances, but there's a big challenge ahead in that regard.
Peters and Riggs were speaking on GBN's Beyond the Headlines program on Monday night. And that has brought us to the end of the first segment of news in GBN Primetime Edition. Coming up, good news for kidney patients as government prepares to launch renal replacement service at the General Hospital.
Home is easy as 1, 2, 3.
Thinking about your new home? Think easy. Think a Republic Bank Home Easy Loan. Think affordable. Think convenience. Think Republic.
Home is easy as 1, 2, 3. Republic makes home easy.
Wow, that was such a breeze.
Own your home with ease.
So whether laying that first brick or purchasing an existing home, we've got you covered. Republic Bank will get you those keys hassle-free in no time.
Home is easy as 1, 2, 3.
Drop by any one of our 8 locations today. Getting your new home is easy with Republic Bank.
Republic Bank, we're the one for you.
Good day, Mr. James. I'm just here looking at Grenlec's new mobile app.
Sounds great. Can I use it to check my bill balance?
Absolutely. Let me show you. Enter your account number and Grenlec access number, and that's it. You can now check your balance, track your usage, receive outage alerts, and get updates from Grenlec in real time. You can even use the app to report a power outage or a fault with a pole or street light. Add as many accounts as you want. Track your business account, apartment rentals, and Granny's account, all in one convenient place.
Thanks, Susan. I'll be telling everyone I know about Grenlec's new app.
The Grenlec mobile app. Download for 24/7 access.
The Nawasa app brings the power of Nawasa's customer service experience to you. Instant, conversational, and smart. Easy access anywhere. Get bill balance, transaction history for up to 6 months, report a fault, link to websites, view payment centers, contact information, push notifications, and multi-tenant accounts, all in a secure login platform. Like a self-service concierge app, mobile.nawasa.gd gets you the support you need much faster. Available on both Android and iOS platforms. Mobile.nawasa.gd, your customer support companion. Nawasa, committed to meeting customers' needs.
If there was a product that helped with the cold, flu, bronchitis, sinusitis, laryngitis, and allergies, and still does deep cleansing for your pores to restore natural beauty, would you get it? Yes? Well, there is. The 2-in-1 facial and nasal steamer is here, and it's available locally at the Boss Collection. The 2-in-1 facial and nasal steamer provides deep cleansing while clearing nasal passages and loosening impurities. Get yours now from the Boss Collection, booth number 6 on Halifax Street, St. George's, opposite Farm and Garden Center, or in Grenville by Rachel the Nail Tech, upstairs Superstore, opposite Peter's Photo Studio. Call or WhatsApp the Boss Collection on 954-600-0200.
Ridgeway Residences, a modern, exclusive residential community offered by Ariza. Purchase one of our completely built houses or let us build for you by simply choosing your lot, choosing your home design from our selection, and let us do the rest. Owning a home does not have to be a frustrating process. For more information, contact Ariza Credit Union on 415-0994 or send us an email on info@ridgewayresidences.gd. Ridgeway Residences. Hassle-free home ownership.
Southern Electrical, you get the best value, quality products, and expert advice. We are the #1 supplier of residential, commercial, and industrial electrical products in Grenada. View our latest arrivals of wall lights for interior and exterior, beautiful chandeliers, pendants, solar motion lights, kitchen appliances such as crispy air fryer ovens, crepe makers, countertop grills, and more. Visit Southern Electrical at Dusty Highway, Grand Down, St. George. We also ship to Carriacou and Petit Martinique. Call our telephone number 444-3042, WhatsApp 405-4993, or browse our website www.segrenada.com.
GBN leads, the others follow. This segment is brought to you by Republic Bank.
My grandson feel he was a big man before he reached secondary school, telling me about new gadgets to make life easy. But he busting up the food his granny cook with her 2 hands. And Kern's a good boy. I know. I raised him. I know he doesn't like seeing me work too hard. He worries. Before I had my first heart attack, he was excited to live near his university campus. So I felt guilty when he decided to live at home to take care of me. And get into class and back, he would travel, he said. But I got him a little car anyway, much safer. He graduated, recently got married, and he's doing well for himself with all his tech. He still thinks he knows more than me, but to be honest, I don't know how I would have managed without him.
Your life is your story. Let's help you write it on your terms.
Republic Bank, we're the one for you.
Welcome back. The countdown to the official launch of the renal replacement service at the General Hospital is less than 1 month away, as the infrastructure for the unit has been completed. This means Grenadians do not have to wait long to receive dialysis treatment at the main hospital in the country. Here's Gerard Joseph with that story.
All medical equipment has been installed and furnishing is almost complete as the dialysis unit at the General Hospital is being readied for a March 10th opening. Hannah St. Paul, Permanent Secretary in the Ministry of Health, says the launch date is significant to individuals living with non-communicable diseases and end-stage renal disease.
That day is World Kidney Day, so we are going to have the launch in connection with the celebration of World Kidney Day.
Affordability is a major focus of the ministry, and St. Paul impresses that a fee structure has been developed for the dialysis treatment.
Persons, the first category we looked at is persons who are insured or has health insurance. These persons would be able to utilize their health insurance to access the service. The second tier looked at persons who are uninsured, but they can afford to pay out of pocket. So that's the second tier. And to ensure that we have equity in our service delivery, that means that everyone can access the service at an affordable rate. We have looked at the third tier, which looked at persons who benefit from the SEED program, persons who are unemployed.
She says the personnel for the management and operation of the facility have been already selected and trained. The renal replacement services offered include a holistic approach to renal care, as PSM Paul notes that renal health education will also be integral at the facility.
Nutrition consultation with a certified renal dietitian, nephrology clinic, training in peritoneal dialysis, and training and peritoneal dialysis has been a service that has been offered at our hospital since 2017.
St. Paul says pre-consultation for the preparation of individuals seeking kidney transplants is also a hope of the ministry in the long term. A phased approach to adding patients to the 5 dialysis machines installed will be used until the 30 patient capacity is reached. I am Gerard Joseph for GBN News.
Contract workers employed by government are seemingly taking advantage of the state's loan offer through the Grenada Development Bank as government commits to injecting $10 million towards this initiative. Let's hear more in this report from Joseph Kador.
The Grenada Development Bank says the response received from people interested in the loan on offer for government contract workers has been overwhelming. The loan facility, which was disclosed publicly last month, is open to imanis, traffic wardens, and any contract worker being paid directly by government. GDB's communications officer, Crystal Benjamin Jerome, was a guest on the Government Information Service on Monday, providing answers to interested applicants. The first question is, what qualifies a contract worker for a loan?
The first is that you are obviously a contracted employee of the government of Grenada, because that's who the loan was created for. And not only do you need to be on contract, but it means that you should have been on contract for a minimum of 3 years. If you are quite close to 3 years, we probably can consider something. But for now, we're asking that you are 3 years minimum. And we also ask that you have a debt service ratio of 50%. What does this mean? This means that only 50% of your salary should be used to repay that mortgage loan, and your 50% left over would be for what you usually do outside of the mortgage loan.
Communications officer further explained the documents applicants are required to have for the particular loans.
It's a mortgage loan, like I said, and you are expected to undertake something in the housing sector. So that is the purchase of land or the purchase of house. You can build a house, you can renovate your house, you can install climate resilience initiatives such as solar water heaters or panels, LED lights, drainage, back walls, and anything that relates to climate change mitigation and adaptation. In terms of documents, the documents would be basically the kind of documents that you would need for any mortgage. So if you're purchasing land, we would expect you to have the sale agreement. If you're purchasing a house, you should also have the sale agreement. We would expect the property that you're purchasing to be valued. If you're building, we would expect you to have your construction estimate. If you are building again, you must receive approval from the physical planning unit. So we would expect you to have your plan approved by physical planning. We're expected to have your proof of employment, job letters, pay slips, your bank statements as the case may be, and basically any other documents and information requested.
Then the question is, what is the maximum an applicant may qualify for?
There isn't a minimum, but a maximum amount that one can qualify for under that particular loan is $375,000. And that loan will be repaid over a 30-year period or retirement age, whichever one comes first, at an interest rate of 3%.
The proposed loan facility is piloted via the Grenada Development Bank as government commits to injecting $10 million in tranches towards this initiative. Joseph Kador, GBN News.
The Public Workers Union is expected to meet with Prime Minister Dr. Keith Mitchell and the Department of Public Administration to discuss the issue of contract work. Contract work within the public service remains a very sore issue for PWU, and Public Relations Officer Daisy Hazard says the chronic situation has been exacerbated with the proliferation of contract workers.
This is the most serious traction that we have gotten on this issue. When Prime Minister is going to sit in on that issue, on such a meeting, it tells you that not only the union understands that it is an issue that is outstanding for far too long and needs to be dealt with aggressively, but that also the administration is finally seeing the light on this matter. And so we are looking forward to that meeting, and we have strategized about it because we know for sure as a union what we want for our workers, what we would like to see coming out of such a meeting, even in the preliminary stages. And so we are looking forward to that meeting. And of course, we will update our constituents, our members, and the general public as to the outcomes.
An issue of contention is an estimated 300 unfilled permanent jobs, while individuals perform and function in those positions with no systematic salary increases over lengthy periods of time.
How can you have a worker working day after day, year after year? Their colleagues who are working alongside them, but who are permanent, receive increases systematically every year as bargained for by the union, enjoy fringe benefits, but these workers do not. They're doing the same jobs, they're performing the same functions and duties and responsibilities, and yet their salaries remain stagnant year after year. So that's another ask that we are going to be bringing to the table. Many of our workers did not receive 4% increases, not this year, not last year, not in 2019. They just have not received and do not receive salary increases unless somebody feels sorry for them somewhere. So that is another issue that we definitely will be bringing to the table that we want quick and serious redress for.
And now let's turn our attention to what has been creating a buzz on social media. Akeisha John has been looking around the platforms.
We present the news. You analyze the various topics and distill the issues as they unfold. Your distillation points matter as we're about to highlight them in our Social Buzz Report.
In tonight's Social Buzz, we turn to the post-cabinet press briefing for the thoughts and opinions of viewers and listeners. During Tuesday's post-cabinet briefing, Acting Chief Medical Officer Dr. Taisha Donald announced changes to be made based on Grenada's existing COVID-19 protocol. Many aired their views via social media. Here's what some people had to say. Rion Smith, with all these restrictions lifting, no contact tracing, etc., what about work mandates? Would those be lifted or revised? Tarek Frank, the Ministry of Health needs to implement a Department of Wellness that will spearhead and lead the charge with health, lifestyle, etc., eat what you grow, etc. Cassandra Mitchell, so our elected officials are more concerned about discriminatory practices for tourists, but continue to pass regulations which discriminate against locals? Gloria John, with the mask we save more lives. People, keep your mask on. It saves our life. And finally, Stud Rod, talking about bubble as if vaccinated and unvaccinated breathing different air, like they have an oxygen tank on their back bubble. Common sense is really not common. That's it for tonight's Social Buzz. Continue to share your thoughts and concerns with us on our social media platforms.
Thank you, Akeisha. And still ahead from us, embroidery services now available at Youth Run Garment Factory in the Big Parish. That story's next.
On Sunday, February 27th, Mega Force Promotions present the 36th edition of Waggity Virtual Bingo. Purchase a ticket now for your chance to win US $10,000. Tickets cost only $10. Get yours today from numerous box offices island-wide in Grenada. If you're playing overseas, tickets are only available at gotofed.com. So, if you need cash now, remember, Sunday, February 27th, join the fun and excitement online. Play Waggity Virtual Bingo and win!
What does it take to be an amazing woman? Lots of me time. Amazing women are classy, fancy, and a little sassy. It's the drink for me. Cheers! Sometimes you've got to show them who's boss. Alpha male? Nah, alpha females are more amazing. Cheers to securing the bag. We make time for ourselves, for work, friends, and we certainly make time for passion. We're simply amazing. Amazing cream liqueur for the amazing woman in you.
Running low on groceries? Why not visit realvalueiga.com and experience our new online shopping platform? Place your order, then go out and enjoy your day to spend more time with friends and family. Free delivery available within select locations or in-store pickup available. Sounds simple, right? It is. Stress less, live more with Real Value IGA online store, where good food begins.
Get the kind of value you love that's unmatched at Courts Now. We're unmatched in quality and prices. Get appliances, electronics, furniture, and much more. You will love it. Get it now and pay nothing for 30 days with Ready Finance. Plus, shop now and get a chance to win a luxury staycation for two. Now that's unmatched value. Only at Courts. Bringing value home. Special conditions apply. Offer ends February 28, 2022.
This is GBN. We've got the means, the power, and the medium. This segment is brought to you by Flow.
Welcome back. A mixture of youth, experience, and competence will be revealed on Wednesday when the National Democratic Congress names half of its list of caretakers ahead of the upcoming general elections constitutionally due next year. 7 of the party's caretakers will be named at a news conference on Wednesday, but members of the organization have not revealed which 7. However, GBN has learned that among the list of caretakers are at least 3 people who contested the last general election but were unsuccessful. Public Relations Officer of the party, Orlando Romaine, says the next batch of caretakers will be named in the coming weeks. Caretakers have been identified in all 15 constituencies, and Romaine says he is confident that the complete list is a strong one. Special announcements will be made by political leader Deacon Mitchell during Wednesday's news conference, followed by a mini motorcade along the western zone ending in St. David. In other news, within the first year of its existence, the new garment factory in St. Andrew is continuing to improve and step up on the services offered with the ongoing assistance from government. They've added another aspect to their daily duties, as we hear in this Cherry and Blackman-Stephen report.
Spice Fashion and Designs Cooperative Limited, the new garment factory in Pearl St. Andrew, now has the capability of providing embroidery designs as government invests in the facility to enhance work output. During a visit to the factory, technician Jerry Charles explained the features and operations of the machine.
The machine comes with different sizes of hoops depending on the size of the logo. This particular one comes with 4 sizes. You have 2.5 inch, whereby you can do like your face mask, like I have my own here, I can customize a print on my face mask. And then there are the 4x4 hoop, like this particular one. This one will be the one that is mostly used. So if you're doing like your school logos and a company logo, this will be the guy you're going to use. And then you have a 5x7 and a 12x8, which you'll use for the back of polos and those things.
Mr. Charles spoke about the quality of the output from the machine, which he guarantees can exceed the durability of the fabric.
It's very nice and clean. You do not have to worry about any bleach or any other detergent falling on the item and any form of discoloring and anything. That is a no-no with this. Right? So as you see it here, it comes out very pretty, and it only takes 7 minutes to do, and the machine also lets you know when it's completed to start again. If we need to do any modification in terms of sizing and stuff, we can also do it directly on the machine. These things can be done with this. There are other machines that are like faster with more needles and stuff, but they do not give you the versatility and the terms of when you want variety. This one here is the guy for you.
The new garment factory began operations in August 2021 with a team of trained and certified staff of more than 20. The company has been engaged in the manufacturing of different types of garments, including school uniforms for every school on the island. This establishment falls under the Ministry of Youth Development, with all support provided by the government in terms of material, machinery, and salary. Cherry and Blackman-Stephen, GBN News.
And now it's time for us to take a peek through the GBN Eyesore lens.
A good eye captures all. GBN Eyesore is brought to you by Clear Vision.
Life is beautiful if only you can see it. Clear Vision Eye Center helps you do just that. We provide expert service, classy eyewear, and cutting-edge technology, all with a quality customer experience. See better, feel better, and look better. Meet us today at clearvisiongrenada.com or call 444-0055, WhatsApp 409-0055, or follow us on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter. Clear Vision Eye Center. Let's see life and the world with a clear vision.
Tonight, ISA comes in the form of a fun brain teaser. A red house is made from red brick. A blue house is made from blue bricks. A yellow house is made from yellow brick. What is a green house made from? Can you guess the correct answer to the question? Some say green bricks, while others say glass. What say you on this fun brain teaser? We look forward to seeing your answer on our social media platforms. We thank our ISA reporter for this submission. Continue to send us your photo and video submissions via WhatsApp on 405-3052 or our other social media platforms.
Stay with us. Coming up next is the weather, followed by sports and our probe around the globe.
We support you at every stage of your life.
For business,
for your education,
for your financial freedom,
for that new ride.
Upgrade your life with the Communal. Contact us today.
Sunday, February 27th, it's the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan.
This is the last time that you will hear me for a while. This is the last time that you will hear me for a while.
Don't miss the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan. Tune into this station Sunday, February 27th, 3 p.m. Eastern Caribbean Time, 2 p.m. Jamaica Time.
Let's start the new year on a high, a detox high, because it's detox time again at Nirvana Detox Center, a natural health store. Check out our many detox packages starting from $100 or get 15% off on colonic irrigation therapy. Detoxing can help with liver and blood cleansing, weight loss, constipation, acid reflux, kidney stones, heavy metal removal, gas and bloating, and more. Call or WhatsApp us on 231-6642, 418-7115, or 449-7753. Ask about our delivery options. Visit us now. Bruce Street Mall, store number 1208, or Belmont St. George's, close to the Fall Edge area. Our opening hours are Monday to Saturday, 9 a.m. to 5 p.m. Nirvana Detox Center and Natural Health Store. Detox your way to health. These specials ends on March 31st or while stocks last.
Introducing Color by Sissons. 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 Color by Sissons.
This is the public weather forecast for the state of Grenada. Tonight's minimum temperature 24 degrees Celsius. The weather will be partly cloudy, hazy and breezy with a few brief showers. Winds will be east-northeasterly to easterly at 10 to 20 miles per hour. Seas will be moderate to rough with waves 6 to 9 feet in northeasterly to easterly swells. A marine advisory is in effect. Take a note that tides will be low at 10:30 p.m. and high at 4:30 a.m. On Wednesday, sunrise is at 6:30 a.m. and sunset 6:15 p.m. The weather will be partly cloudy and breezy with a few brief showers and some fair spells. Then on Thursday, sunrise is at 6:29 a.m. and sunset 6:15 p.m. It will be generally fair and windy, becoming partly cloudy at times with a possible morning and nighttime shower. And then on Friday, sunrise and sunset 6:29 and 6:15 respectively. The weather will be partly cloudy to occasionally cloudy and windy with a few brief showers and some fair spells. And that's a look at the weather report and forecast valid for tonight and the next 3 days. Stay tuned, sports is next. Good evening, sporting fans. We kick off with football. The senior women's national football team is in high spirits ahead of their first match in the CONCACAF Women's Qualifiers on Wednesday in the Dominican Republic. Kickoff will be at 7 p.m. The team has been engaged in physiotherapy, tactical and practice sessions since arriving safely on Sunday night. The second leg of the qualifiers will take place right here in Grenada when the home team plays Jamaica on Sunday, 5 p.m. at the Karani James Athletic Stadium. Head coach Jake Rennie says the team has gained much confidence in their abilities on the field and he is looking forward to them doing their best. The team is a mixture of young talent identified in 2021 women's football tournaments with a sprinkling of experienced players along with the inclusion of overseas-based players. Moving now to cricket, the West Indies would be aiming to get its combinations right when the team takes on India in a 3-match series beginning in Calcutta on Wednesday. Unlike their flop show in the ODI series, the Kieron Pollard-led West Indies would look to give a strong fight to the hosts in their favorite T20 format. Boasting of T20 specialists, the Windies land on the subcontinent after beating England 3-2 at home in a thrilling 5-match series. They bat deep and with some aggressive hitters, the West Indies will hope to give India a tough fight. Jason Holder has been in fine form for them and took 4 wickets in 4 balls in the final ODI against England to return with career best figures of 5 for 27. With some exciting all-round options in Odin Smith and Akil Hussain, Pollard's men would look to make it count at a venue where they won the T20 World Cup in 2016. Meanwhile, Cricket West Indies has congratulated the West Indies players chosen in the auction of the Indian Premier League, which was conducted last weekend. From the large pool of available players, 14 West Indians were chosen to join Kieron Pollard, Sunil Narayan and Andre Russell, who were retained by their respective franchises ahead of the auction. The total price paid for the West Indies players is US $10.855 million. The 17 West Indians make up the largest number of foreign players in the IPL from any territory outside of India. And finally, on the local front, the Oliver Joseph St. David T20 tournament heads into the playoffs. This Saturday, we'll see Super Kings battling Sixers at Lasages from 10 in the morning. The winner will play Royal top strikers in the final the following weekend. Royal earned their spot in the final by virtue of having topped the prelims. Saturday will also see the last of the preliminary matches, with Kumar suiting up against Malmount. We look forward to the weekend action. And that's all the time we have for sports tonight. Stay tuned. Your regional and international developments are up next. tonight's One Caribbean Hookup begins with news that an earthquake with a magnitude of 5.4 rocked several Caribbean islands during the early hours of Tuesday. The Trinidad-based Seismic Research Center of the University of the West Indies said there were no immediate reports of injuries or damage linked to the quake, which occurred at 3 minutes after 4 this morning and was located at latitude 16.74 north, longitude 61.35 west, and at a depth of 19 kilometers. The SRC said the tremor was felt 58 kilometers northeast of the capital of Guadeloupe, 69 kilometers southeast of St. John's, Antigua and Barbuda, and 60 kilometers north of the Dominican capital, Roseau. We move now to international news. According to Canadian media, Otway Police Chief Peter Slowly has resigned as he faces mounting criticism for his handling of the anti-vaccine mandate protests that have paralyzed the downtown core of Canada's capital for 19 days. Let's get more details in this report.
Point where he decided to go out on this plank, so to speak, if the swords were out and forced him to walk it, or whether or not he walked it on his own volition. But what is clear is that he is out. We are expected to hear the official word at 2:30 today, but he has been for the last going on 19 days now right in the middle of all of this, and a lot of people looking at him asking why he has not moved in more swiftly, why he's not directed his police forces to move in more swiftly on the convoy that landed here on Parliament Hill, and why they have in some cases just stood by or even facilitated some of the movement of some of these people as they continue to set up camp and continue to camp out on Parliament Hill. He has been with the Ottawa Police Service since 2019. He was the former Deputy Police Chief of Toronto. His contract was expected to expire in 2024. Obviously, he's stepping away from that now, and it's unclear exactly the reasons behind it, but I think seeing the mounting pressure going on day 19 here now and still not having any resolution on Parliament Hill, and potentially the fact that the Emergencies Act was invoked by the Prime Minister. But also remember, there has been a bit of a war of words between the Prime Minister and the Ottawa Police Chief, slowly saying, hey, look, I want to do more here, but I just don't have the manpower. I'm outnumbered. Our people are outnumbered by the protesters. We need more resources from the province and the federal government. And Prime Minister Justin Trudeau is saying that the city has what they need and that they should move in, and that this is a policing issue. So potentially that is why he's decided to step away at this point.
And now let's get to this story as we hear that Prince Andrew has settled his sexual assault case. Let's get the details.
Well, lawyers for both Gouffre and Prince Andrew say that they have reached a settlement, an undisclosed sum, but also that Prince Andrew will be making a substantial donation to Virginia Gouffre's charity that supports victims' rights. And I do have the written filing from Prince Andrew's lawyers, which I think is very interesting. It says Prince Andrew has never intended to malign Miss Gouffre's character. He accepts that she's suffered both as an established victim of abuse and as a result of unfair public attacks. It is known that Jeffrey Epstein trafficked countless girls over many years. Prince Andrew regrets his association with Epstein and commends the bravery of Miss Gouffre and other survivors. Now, it's safe to say that this settlement has come completely out of the blue. In recent weeks, the two sides have been nothing but adversarial, with the Duke of York's lawyers saying that he wanted his day in court, he wanted a civil trial, he wanted to be able to stand up and give evidence under oath. And there was already a trial date penciled in for between September and December this year. In fact, Prince Andrew was due to give his witness statement on March 10th, which is just over 3 weeks away. So yes, a very surprising development in this case. The two sides have settled, with Prince Andrew giving an undisclosed sum to Miss Gouffre.
And finally, Russia says it is pulling back some of its troops from near Ukraine after a buildup raised fears of an invasion. The Defense Ministry said large-scale drills continued, but that some units were returning to their bases.
certainly is, and we've just been hearing from the chief spokesperson of the Russian Defense Ministry, Major General Igor Konashenkov, who has issued a statement saying that some of Russia's western and southern military units will be on their way back to their home bases upon completing a series of military maneuvers. The Major General also went on to say that there are other further units that are finishing up their military drills and will be going back to their home bases. This is, of course, something we heard from the Russian Defense Minister on Monday. Sergei Shoigu, at a meeting with the Russian President Vladimir Putin, said that this was about to take place, that the military drills that were ongoing for the past few weeks were coming to an end, and most of the military units that have been dispatched alongside the country's borders will be returning to their home bases. Of course, this will be seen as the first significant step in the current situation that we're in, and possibly seen as a sign of Russia really de-escalating the situation and sticking to their word, saying that these troop movements were all to carry out these drills, and now that they're rebasing them, they really are going back to where they were in the beginning, and reiterating this country's position that they never really intended to invade Ukraine. This was just a hysteria narrative that was built by the Western countries.
And that's a look at regional and international news. We'll recap the headlines right after this. Now let's look back at what made news tonight. Ministry of Health makes significant changes to Grenada's entry protocols and COVID-19 regulations as officials adapt to living with COVID-19. Family of the man accused of the country's first homicide for 2022 says they have more questions than answers. NDC to reveal 7 of its caretakers as election fever heats up. Regionally, 5.4 earthquake rocks several Caribbean islands on Tuesday. In international developments, Ottawa police in Canada, the chief resigns amid criticism over trucker protests. And in sports, Spice Girls in CONCACAF action tomorrow night, while the Windies are hoping to redeem themselves in T20 clash with India. That's the end of tonight's GBN News for Tuesday, February 15th, 2022. If you missed any part of this newscast, a repeat of it will be broadcast at 10 o'clock tonight. Continue to follow us online at www.gbn.gd or on GBN Television Facebook page and YouTube channel for these and other top stories. On behalf of the entire GBN News team, I am Blossom Alexis Welsh. Enjoy the rest of your evening.
Drug abuse, cancer,
measles, diabetes, AIDS, cancer,